You know what I find highly unfair?
What?
Is that you get to take your instrument around with you wherever you go. And I'm a drummer, and that's not acceptable.
Yeah, but then you can be like,
Yeah, but I don't want to draw attention to how much more in shape you
turn the volume down. How many times we got to go through this? Hey, everybody. Welcome to another YouTube Live. It's Monday morning, 9:30. Glad to see you. For those of you joining us for the first time on one of these lives, we do this every single Monday over on our Patreon for our patrons. So we're happy to have our patrons back with us on here. And then once a quarter, we open it up to all you guys so that we can show you what you're missing. And
make you real jealous.
And try and get you to come over to Patreon.
Wow.
No, we also just really like talking with you. And basically the way this works is we just hop on here for like an hour or so. You can ask your questions over there on the side. Craig's going to scroll through there. We're probably not going to be able to get to all the questions when we do it for everybody because there's so many of you on here. But we'll try and get to as many as we can.
Absolutely.
So that's how it goes.
That's how it goes.
Hope you guys are doing good.
Yeah.
Ooh, we got a Spenceley Design Go. Eric over here.
Did you say Spenceley Design Go?
Co.
Okay.
But I'd also like it if he'd go.
Yeah.
Go,
Spenceley
Eric.
Design Go.
Go. No, I'm just joking.
We got Brian Jones. We got Ray Rodriguez, Melissa. These are a lot of our patrons are still on here, which is awesome. Kenneth, who's also one of our patrons, he's celebrating his 24th wedding anniversary today.
Oh, happy anniversary. Me and my wife's 16th was a few days ago, and yesterday it was Craig's 12th.
Yeah, 12th.
So a lot of June weddings.
My wife decided to leave me, though.
Yeah, but what happened yesterday, even though your wife was gone?
I got to shoot a bow and arrow.
No.
Oh, I got a birthday cake? Anniversary cake.
Yeah.
So my lovely wife is in Italy right now. Feel really bad for her, but thank you. A little more Italian, please.
Italian?
Yeah. Yeah. Had an anniversary, and she managed somehow to get a cake to my doorstep yesterday.
AKA, she texted my wife.
Yeah. I also did get to shoot a bow and arrow for the first time in my life.
Yeah, so funny thing. I'm getting ready for elk hunting season, end of September. I'm going to Montana this year, which would be a lot of fun. Anyways, I've started really trying to hone in my shooting. I was out there shooting yesterday. Craig is my neighbor, if you didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, by the way, I just moved in next door.
He saw me shooting. He came out, and I asked if he wanted to shoot my bow. He said, sure. Now, Craig is a lefty. And
not just any lefty, a kind of a weird lefty. Though.
Lefty, but right-eye dominant. So I said he could shoot my bow. I kind of gave him a pointer. He's never shot a compound bow before. Somehow, he had his arm twisted in weird
like this
when he was shooting. I've never seen somebody hit their arm with the string on a compound bow like that because normally your elbow's out.
I wasn't like this. I was like
Let's see the arm today. What's it look like?
It's not terrible.
Oh, that's not bad. The way you were crying about it yesterday, I thought it was going to be a huge bruise.
It hurt a lot.
Man.
Oh, well.
I expected a huge, big old bruise today. Disappointment.
I'm sorry. Well,
should we answer some questions?
Sure. I just got to figure out how to get a bow that will shoot where I can pull back with my left hand.
That is weird.
But then get around here. I guess I would just have to.
I guess you could get. That'd be hard to get your eye on the other side. But then you have to have your
head completely sideways. I don't know.
Crossbow.
That's better. Let's build one.
Okay.
Let's build one. Hey, let's dive right into a couple questions here.
All right.
Shall we?
Hit us.
This is what. Yes, I love it when you say that.
Saw that coming.
Yes. Okay. From Melissa, one of our patrons. What size domino do you use with 3/4 inch material?
Ooh, well, you can use either one. You can use the 700 or you can use the 500. The 500 is a lot easier to use with 3/4 material. The 700 gets a little bit tricky because the fence on the 700, if you lower it all the way down, it's still not going to be low enough to really get you in the center of 3/4 inch material. So the way you have to do it is you have to create a little offset spacer to put on top of your board that the fence sits on, and then it raises it up so you can get in the center of that board. And you can really only use the 8mm, and it still doesn't leave a lot of room on either side. So if you're exclusively going to be using 3/4 material with your domino and you're trying to figure out which one to buy, the 500's probably the best way to go. Honestly, the 500 is probably the best way to go if you just have to pick one because you can do a lot with the 500. They do make, there's companies out there that make plates that you can hook onto the 700 and it makes it a little more universal, but that's an add-on thing. Anyways.
Okay. Cool. Brian Jones says, it's awesome that you seem to follow whatever your brain tells you project-wise, which I would agree with. I
Okay.
think that's awesome. Is there any long-term plan, or are you mostly firing from the hip and following inspiration?
Yeah, at this point, it's mostly firing from the hip. Everyone's like, what's your 5-year goal or your 10-year goal? I don't know. We don't even know what we're doing in 2 months.
2 weeks.
We're working on the Airstream right now.
Yeah.
Once that's over, we have 0 plans. So who knows? My wife would really like us to buy a vacation rental someplace in the future and then fix it up all cool. And we'd obviously do a bunch of videos on that. So maybe we'll do that. I
Yeah.
don't know.
I mean, I got a list of things you could build me.
Yeah, Craig, his house needs some work, so we could do stuff over there. I don't know. It's whatever. And we get a lot of ideas from you guys too in the comment
It's
section
true.
saying like, oh, this would be cool. So we do read those. So if you have cool ideas or things you want to see,
Yeah.
let us know.
Yeah. Okay. Your favorite Finnish sander?
My favorite Finnish sander would probably be the Festool ETS
It's like I knew this one was coming.
EQ 5. This one. Yeah, here, let me
Oh,
see
is
it.
this it? Okay. Yeah.
Be careful though. Festool has another ETS 125. This is the ETS EC 150 EQ. It's way better. Just the regular ETS 125 is a garbage sander. It's horrible. This one's really nice though for Finnish sanding.
Okay.
I haven't used a lot of like purely Finnish sanders though, so I don't have a lot to compare it to. I did try the 3M comparable one when I was down at Jonathan Katz Moses' shop, and it works well too. The thing I don't like about that though is it's got the paddle switch on the top that basically if you push down the paddle, it turns it on. It doesn't have a traditional switch on the front. I don't really like that because if you move your hand, it like comes off and then the sander turns off.
And maybe you have to feel like you pressed it.
Yeah, it's not my favorite.
You could have answered this question in like 3 words.
Sorry.
You could have said, "It's you, Craig. You're my favorite Finnish sander."
Oh,
Missed opportunity there.
it's true.
Oh.
Sorry. And it's not true.
However, as you guys might have seen in this last RV, the Airstream build, I was in charge of the sanding and finishing of those boat-looking storage cabinets, and well, I messed that all up.
You didn't mess it up. It wasn't your fault.
But I was in charge of it, man.
No, I know, but you specifically asked before we did it if there was going to be an issue if we switched cans halfway through, and I said no, there shouldn't be, and sure enough, there was.
Yeah,
so.
Sure enough.
Also, I actually had a Zoom call with Rubio this morning for a completely different thing. And I was asking them about it. If you don't know, in the video, I finished something at one point and then I switched cans and finished another part of it and it came out 2 different colors. Same color finish, 2 different colors, 2 different cans. And they told me, I gave them the lot numbers on both cans. And the first can we used was from 2020. So that can's 3 years old.
Okay.
And the second can we used is from 2022. So it's less than a year old. And they have switched their formula.
That's what I thought.
In the last year. So it's a new formula that they think works a lot better. But they think that because they're 2 different formulas, obviously there's some variation there. So
interesting though, because I like the look of the old formula better. If you're to look at them.
Well, he also said that color doesn't look right for cotton white.
Okay.
So.
Something happened. Something weird happened.
Yeah.
I mean, I did. So the one thing I did, I grabbed some older hardener. So maybe that was it. Old hardener. I don't know. You never know.
You never know.
You never know with these things. Okay. Let's tackle Spensley's question.
All right. What is it?
He says, what's one thing in your business that you thought you'd make a boatload of money at, but ended up being a giant waste of time? Me hiring me.
No, you've paid off.
Okay.
The only thing that really jumps to mind is we had this idea, and this isn't always going to be a failure, but we tried to come out with our own line of flannel shirts.
Oh, yes.
And it was mainly the manufacturer we were working with just wasn't up to snuff. And we should have known ahead of time because they'd never done flannel shirts before, but they assured us like, oh, we can figure it out. which in hindsight, we shouldn't have let them figure it out on us because they kept sending us samples and they just weren't good. And so we probably wasted almost a year going back and forth before we finally were like, this isn't going to happen.
Pulled the plug.
So that was one thing. Trying to think of anything
more
broad or specific.
Yeah.
Can't really think of too much.
Yeah. James Lewis wants to know if you're still just going to go with an outdoor shower on the Airstream.
Yes, I am. And I know a lot of you guys in the comment sections are like, you're going to regret it. You're going to want an indoor shower. Let me just clue you in on a few things. All right. With that size of Airstream, the 26 foot, the only place to put a full-size shower floor plan wise is at the very back of the Airstream. I can't put it in the middle because the wheel wells are in the way and it's just not wide enough to put a shower there with the wheel well in the way. I don't want a bathroom at the back of the Airstream because then I have to move all the bedrooms and everything forward, and that really limits the size of beds and everything that we can put in. If it was a longer Airstream, like a 30 foot, then I could have done a full-size shower. Another thing, my wife has zero interest, in camping during the fall or winter. So outside shower is not that big a deal. And a lot of you were like, but most campsites aren't going to let you use an outdoor shower because they have policies. We also have zero desire to go into a campsite and use that thing, because why would I leave my property where I'm not around anybody and go pull into a campsite and be around hundreds of people? That sounds horrible. We're not those type of people. So we're going to be off in the middle of the woods, away from everybody, boondocking it, as they call it. I learned. Off the grid. That's where we have solar and everything set up. And we're just going to outside shower it. So ease up.
Ease up, people.
Huh? Yeah. And we're only going to go for like a week at a time. And most of the time when you go camping, you don't even take a shower. Craig doesn't take a shower.
I was going to say.
Even during normal times.
Yeah, I would be fine with not even having a shower in the Airstream. Yeah.
But like I go elk hunting every year for like 10 days and I don't take a shower the entire time. And it's not that big a deal.
That's what like a lake or a river's for.
So you're going to have an outside shower. If you're feeling sticky and you want to rinse off real quick, great. And we're going to save a lot of space on the inside.
Okay. Question from Michael Metz. Does pineapple belong on pizza?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, what kind? What kind of pizza? Is it Canadian bacon, or should it rather go on pepperoni?
It can go on any kinds of pizza.
Pepperoni and pineapple is so good.
One of my favorite pizzas is 10 Barrel Brewing in Bend. They have this pizza and it's got pineapple, pulled pork, and jalapenos on it.
Okay, that sounds delicious.
It's really good. It's the sweet and the spicy.
Dude, I'm hungry.
Oh boy.
Michael or Todd Blanchard. It's his first live stream here. His wife and him bought a very heavy old wooden table. It came with benches, but there's no finish on it.
Okay.
How do they maintain the rustic look and protect it as well?
So you want to put a finish on it?
Sounds like it. That's
a hard one, because you're never going to be able to put a finish on it that's going to keep that rustic natural patina that it already has on there. It's going to change the color of the wood somewhat. I would probably, surprise, put Rubio on it, but I would just play around with a bunch of different colors because they add color into the finish. You could probably find a color that's pretty close to what it looks like now. So I would find a wood that's a similar species to what the table is and get a bunch of the little sample colors and then just play around with it until you get as close as you can. And that's what I would do.
And it has a mattish finish.
And it's got a matte finish. So it's not going to look like a typical finish that's super shiny.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. See how well you know Seinfeld.
Oh, we're doing
You're
Seinfeld.
a big Seinfeld person, aren't you?
I know. I got these Seinfeld trivia cards to try and stump Keith.
Which character has a dance named after him? Them?
Oh, Elaine.
Yeah.
Little Kicks.
Who invented Festivus?
Frank Costanza.
No.
Well, George's father.
Yeah, okay, yes. What is Kramer's first name?
Cosmo.
To what religion did George convert?
Latvian Orthodox.
Dude, you are so good at this. What is the name of Jerry's favorite shirt?
I want to say it's Golden Boy.
Yep. Gosh.
No. Well, he's got another one. He's got Baby Blue. Anyways.
That's pretty good.
That was very random.
Like 5 for 5.
I was using these Seinfeld cards in the last video as spacers to do the reveal around door faces.
All right. Over on Patreon, we got a question. This is from Sean in PA.
Okay.
I'm guessing that's Pennsylvania
Mm-hmm.
or pasta. Anyway, how do you determine what size Blum undermount slides to use? Is it Blum or Bloom?
It's Bloom.
Bloom. Okay.
Mhm.
I
Even though it's
always
spelled Blum,
I
it's
second
Bloom.
guess myself every single
I
time
say it as Blum in videos all the time.
How do you determine what size Bloom undermount slides do you use if my inside cabinet depth is 19 inches?
Use. It's hard. It depends on whether you want inset or overlay drawers. So the drawer slides, they are sold by a specific length, right? So they sell 18-inch drawer slides, but they're not truly 18 inches. That's how deep your drawer box is going to be. The slide itself is really around 18.5 inches. So if you have a 3/4 inch face and your cabinet's 19 inches deep and you want that inset so it's flush with the front of the cabinet, an 18-inch drawer slide isn't going to be short enough because you're going to run into the back of the cabinet. So you'd have to go down to 15-inch drawer slides at that point. So, I mean, that's basically how you got to figure it out. You just know the drawer slide's a 1/2 inch bigger than it actually says. And are you going to have enough room in there? And then how are you mounting those drawer slides? Are you using the included little brackets that clip onto the back of the cabinet and they slide into? Because that takes another about 3/4 of an inch of space to mount those brackets and slide it into. So just got to figure all that out.
Okay.
But the reason that they sell 21-inch drawer slides primarily for kitchen cabinets is most kitchen cabinet boxes are 24 inches deep. And so 21 is long enough that you get a lot of space, but you still have room to work with inside the cabinet box.
Okay. Cool. Are we going to come out with my desk's plans?
Yes.
I think we should.
Yeah, we will. We actually have somebody right now who is going back through pretty much all of our videos, most of them.
That are like repeatable, buildable.
Yeah, that could have plans for them and making plans for everything. So we have a lot of new plans coming down the pipeline
for
here
old builds.
For old builds. And we will get to the desk one. It's really hard because I don't use plans when I build. I just go and kind of make it up as I go along.
I mean, you rarely even use SketchUp.
I hardly ever use SketchUp. I'll just start building. So it's really hard to get plans out before the video.
In there.
Because, they're in here and I don't know how to do that. So the guy that we're working with now is awesome because he just watches the old video and then he can make the plans just from watching the video, which is fantastic. So, but we have to have the video out before he can do the plans.
Okay. And
then it takes a while. But yeah, we probably will do that.
I think it's a great idea.
In the future.
Yep. I would say by the end of the year, we'd have 15, hopefully 15, maybe 20 new plans up on
new
the
sets.
website. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What you got over there?
Oh, we're going to do wet stuff of the week. So normally on Patreon Live, we do a wet stuff of the week. But this is open for everybody. And every week is just a different wet stuff. It used to be whiskey of the week, but then we kind of got tired of doing whiskey all the time. So it became wet
whiskey
stuff.
At like 9:30, 10 in the morning. Like, it's great. Don't get me wrong. But
so is a margarita.
Exactly.
Yeah. And we wanted to open it up.
Yeah.
But we are doing a whiskey this morning. Old Forester. Oh, this is the Prohibition style. I think we did the original batch on here one time. The difference between the Prohibition style and the original batch is the Prohibition style is a little higher proof. So the original batch, don't quote me on this, I want to say is around 45% alcohol, where the Prohibition style is 57.5. So it's not quite a cask strength, but it's a little bitier.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll try this. Ooh. And then one of our patrons sent us these awesome etched bourbon moth glasses.
Mm-hmm.
If you're pouring whiskey with a friend, you always pour for your friend first. That's the rule.
Wow.
And you always pour yourself more.
Yeah, I was going to say, is that the other rule? Thanks, man. I haven't drank out of these glasses yet.
Here's a bottle. If you want to go check it out. It's not an expensive bottle. I want to say $35, maybe. Old Forester's good stuff, though. Whew. It does.
That is what percentage is this?
57.5. Okay. Yeah, it's up there.
You want some sparkling water?
Yeah, make a little highball.
Yeah. All right. Well, the reason I wanted you to maybe
before anyone's like, "You're putting water in your whiskey? How dare you? I thought you liked whiskey." Water and whiskey is actually fantastic, and the way I prefer to drink it, especially for a higher proof. because it just
It
opens
brings
it up.
up more flavors.
Oh, I think it brings out way more flavor.
Brings out more flavors.
Not a lot of water, just a little splash.
All right. So now that you're loose, let's go ahead and talk about AVE or AVE.
Oh,
So
which one is it, by the way? Does he go by Ave, like a name, or does he go by AVE?
I have no clue.
I don't know.
Yes. Well, and it probably won't help if people type it in because they're just going to type in.
Yeah, they're going to type in AVE.
AVE. So anyway, as a lot of you saw, he came out with some videos that
Three.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know there was 3. I thought there was just 2.
No, he
Oh,
came
kept
out with
going?
3.
Okay.
Yeah, he didn't have a lot to do. Apparently.
About the spontaneous combustion video, that experiment that we did. So
Yeah.
do you want to just say anything about that?
I'm not going to say a lot about it. A lot of you guys have been asking, like, are you going to do a rebuttal video? Absolutely not. This guy, I don't want to like say anything too bad because I have no desire to like start something with some other YouTuber. His evidence is very questionable, in my opinion. Nobody knows what this guy looks like, which I think is weird. He's never shown his face in a single YouTube video. Nobody knows what he looks like. He says he tried to recreate the experiment. It wasn't at all like my experiment.
Not at all.
His big issues, well, he thought I did the entire video to make money off of selling the
little metal trash
the
can,
rag bin thing.
which I don't even know where it's at anymore.
Which is funny. I think the last time I looked at the affiliate link, because we do, I'll be honest, we had an affiliate link up for it. I didn't put the affiliate link up, though, until about 24 hours after the video got posted. And only because a friend of mine was like, hey, did you put an affiliate link? And I was like, oh, shoot, I forgot about that. So I put an affiliate link up. We've made less than $100 off of that. So if that was my big motivation to fake a video, I'm sorry. It's just not. I did that video to bring awareness to the fact that this is a real thing and it wasn't faked. I was just as shocked as everybody else that we got 3 cans to catch on fire. What were the other issues? That there wasn't enough smoke. He really had a problem that it didn't happen how he thought it should happen.
Yeah.
I have no control over how it happened. It happened how it happened. There was more smoke than appeared in the video. I'll tell you that. iPhones just don't pick up smoke very well. And I filmed everything on an iPhone.
Well, yeah, because your buddy says when he's driving in the fog.
Yeah, he uses his
he reaches
iPhone.
his iPhone up on the
to
dashboard.
See through the fog. He works for Verizon and he goes out and does a lot of like calls. And he says when it's really foggy, he puts his iPhone up because the iPhone doesn't pick up the fog. Smoke's the same way. It's hard to show up.
Yep.
The other issues were they're just dumb. I just feel stupid
About,
even
like,
bringing them up about like what I was wearing and
the timestamp was off.
The timestamp was
Because
off.
your
Oh yeah,
friend
that was a
Lucas-
big one. Was
yeah, I think that's what
the
started the
footage
whole
from
thing.
Lucas's shop? He thought that was all faked. Well, go talk to Lucas at Lighthouse Boston. It definitely was not fake. People had a big issue that I said it was after midnight, and the timestamp and the clock on the wall said that it was before midnight. I didn't even look at the timestamp or the clock on the wall when I put that footage in there. The reason that I said it was after midnight is that when Lucas texted me, he said, dude, after midnight last night, my shop almost burnt down, and he sent me the footage. So I was going off of what Lucas said. Sorry.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that if it was before midnight, a shop couldn't catch fire. I didn't know that the time affected whether or not. I don't know. It was dumb.
As far as an official.
And then one of his videos, he froze the frames and he kept trying to like pick out things in the shop.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, you see that can over there? That's lighter fluid. And he pulls up an Amazon link to this bottle that could look similar. And he's like, that can is lighter fluid. Hold on a second.
Holding. Oh, yeah. This is one of the cans that he put.
This is one of the cans that he was like, see that can? This was sitting on my outfeed table as I walked by. He's like, that's a thing of lighter fluid. And he put up a link to it. This actually, AVE/AVE, is boiled linseed oil that I bought for the experiment.
It was part of the experiment.
So I'm sorry that's not lighter fluid. It might be a metal can with a red lid, but your proof isn't very good proof. Anyways.
Long story short, It's not worth getting into a fight over.
No,
this.
and I'm definitely not going to put out a video on it. I'm sorry. I don't even, that's not even my channel, is doing these
No.
experiment videos. I just had a friend whose shop almost burnt down, and I thought, more people should probably know about this. And hopefully it's helped some people just be safer.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
That's all we're going to say about it. I go into more detail on our podcast, Shop Sounds. If you're not a listener over there, go check out Shop Sounds podcast. We do an episode and I talk all about it. But
Okay.
that's it.
Hopefully that's what you wanted. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Anyway,
I know people love drama and conspiracies, but
haters gonna hate,
we build stuff and that's pretty much it.
Yep.
So,
I mean, it's kind of my fault because I was moving that week, and that was a week where we're like, oh, we need a really quick video. What could we do?
I know we weren't even.
And all of a sudden, we weren't even planning on doing that video.
The funniest thing about that whole thing and him saying that it was faked, all right, is I literally sat out in my shop for 14 hours. The video was 12, and then there was like an hour plus on each end. So like probably 14 to 15 hours I had to spend out in the shop for that video. It sucked. It was miserable because you don't see it in the video, but 99% of the time, nothing is happening, and I'm just sitting there doing nothing. If I was going to fake a video, I would have filmed it in about an hour. Mm-hmm. I would not have sat out here for that long.
My favorite one was when he paused the screen and your computer screen was on there.
Oh, and he says, I wasn't watching Seinfeld.
He says he's watching Seinfeld, and he pauses it. He's like, that's not an episode of Seinfeld.
I know. I say in the voiceover, I was like, I was watching Seinfeld, and he pauses it, and he's like, what a liar. He's not watching Seinfeld.
Like, how can you
You can't even tell. It's blurry. I like looked, and I was like, I was trying to figure out what episode it was because I was watching Seinfeld. But anyways.
All
right, moving on. Who's
Enough
got
about
other questions?
That. All right. Yeah, goof. You're a bit of a goof. All right.
That was pretty good.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Current favorite bourbon.
Current favorite bourbon?
Current favorite.
Oh, I'm glad you asked it that way. Current favorite bourbon. Everyone's always like, what's your favorite bourbon? And that's an impossible question because I haven't tried them all. So I can't tell you what my favorite bourbon is. Current favorite bourbon is the Old Fitzgerald 13 year. It's phenomenal. It's really, really good.
Cool. And was that the one that J-Cat shipped to you and broke?
No. Jonathan Katz Moses sent me a bottle of Old Fitz 9 year. And when it showed up, it was broken and all the bourbon was gone and had soaked into the packaging. I might have licked some of the bubble wrap. I'm not ashamed to admit it. It's very sad. Anyways.
Yes. Hold, please.
Hold, please.
Hold, please.
Craig's finding questions.
Yep. Well, they're just going so fast. Okay. What would you do if you want to use a slab as a tabletop, but it's very thin and a little warped?
Find a different slab.
Easy.
Okay. It's really hard to use thin slabs because they will absolutely warp on you. The only thing I could think you could do is make it even thinner. So plane it down and then almost use it as a veneer and get some sort of substrate to glue it to, something stable like plywood or MDF. And then you're just going to have to do something to the edges to hide that. Other than that, get a thicker slab.
Thicker slab.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know no guy wants to hear that you need to get a thicker slab, but.
Okay, so let's go back to Blum Undermount drawers.
All right.
This is from Tatsuya Matsubara. I did pretty good with that one.
Probably not, but okay.
Speaking of Blum, see, I don't know, it's back and forth every time. Blum Undermount drawer slides. Does it matter, even with face frames, whether you use the rear brackets or have a shim on the sides to secure the sides to the walls?
No, it doesn't matter at all. You can mount those things any flipping way you want. Half the time, I don't use the brackets. I really only use the brackets when they're overlay because you can set the front on the face frame and then the back you can just slide into the bracket and it makes it really easy to install. If they're inset, I hardly ever use the bracket because I'm going to have to shim out or put some sort of block on the front anyways for it to attach to. So what I end up doing is just running a piece the full length of the drawer slide, and I attach it in the front and the back.
Okay.
So, and then if it's like the base of your cabinet, I'll just set them right on the base and just screw them down to the bottom when I do it that way.
Dude,
So,
Ian's gonna make your day.
okay.
Did you see that Greta Van Fleet is releasing a new album?
What?
See?
Oh, I did not see that, but
I
that's
just
exciting.
asked Jason, I was like, okay, favorite music in the last 5 years, like new music or whatever. And Greta Van Fleet was.
Well,
okay.
your specific question, what was the best like new music you've heard?
Yeah.
And
isn't that what I just said?
I guess.
Yeah.
But you said it in a way of like, what was the band that has made like the biggest impact? I don't remember what the question was, but Greta Van Fleet is flipping phenomenal. If you haven't listened to that band, very Led Zeppelin-esque, old school kind of rock vibe. Like them a lot.
All right, 311 Connor F. I like that name. My shop seems to be always one project tool / upgrade from being done.
No, and it will be the rest of your life.
Okay, well then that answers this question. Is there an upgrade tool you're hoping to get where you're finally able to call your shop complete?
No, absolutely not. There's constantly new projects that need a tool that for some reason we don't have, or we have it and it could be better. I mean, that's woodworking. You're always going to be upgrading. You're always going to be buying new stuff. They're going to come out with new tools. You're going to go into a different, like, direction of woodworking, and you're going to need specific tools for that.
Even last week, we're standing in front of this giant CNC machine, and you're like, should we just get one of these?
Like, that was very tempting.
Where are we gonna?
The problem is when you do YouTube videos, nobody wants to just be like watch you go set something on the CNC and then press a button.
Start another channel.
Cut out. Yeah, but nobody wants to watch a CNC cut stuff out, right?
I don't know.
Especially when most people don't have an $85,000 CNC machine, right? Am I right?
You're right.
I mean, wouldn't it be annoying if you watched a YouTuber and they're like, and then I took the board and went over to my $85,000 CNC machine and I cut out all the parts. So you go do that. Well, nobody's going to be able to do that.
Hey, little shout out to Medic Brewer. Did a little $5 tip in the thing. He says, here's what he says. Just an observation. I didn't know either. Just an observation. Night shift is awesome because having a drink at 8 a.m. is just after work.
Oh.
That's pretty nice.
That's pretty nice.
We
work the night shift.
Yeah, we do.
We just don't we do all of our work off the clock during the day.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we can drink.
And build with Mooney, Mooney, Mooney. Also $5 tip says keep it up.
Hey, you know what I'm going to do right now? This is a good idea. We're taking a break from the Airstream this week. Finally, I know. I have to go to Minneapolis. Is it Minneapolis or
Minneapolis?
Minneapolis.
Yeah.
On Wednesday, I'm going to go tour the 3M headquarters. They invited me and a bunch of other people out there. Anyway, so it's a short week, so I needed a shorter video. It's been a while since I've done a tips and tricks video for you guys. You've always seemed to like those. So we're going to do a tips and tricks video this week. But I have a whole list of tips I'm going to put in the video. But I was thinking, do you guys have any good woodworking tips or hacks?
Ooh.
Put them in the comment section.
Yeah.
We'll read through there.
Absolutely.
And if they're good enough, I'll put them in the video. So
we should.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
All right. Anyways.
Okay.
What other questions do we have?
Well, let's see over on okay. John Delamarter from over on Patreon.
Okay.
When you cut the top panels for the cabinets that run beside the bed in the Airstream, how did you ensure that inboard straight edge stayed perfectly parallel to the inboard face of the cabinets? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Look like you trimmed that edge to final size by measuring and marking with an adjustable square, but I think that would have only worked if those edges were perfectly parallel. Hope my question makes sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So Jimmy DiResta famously says all the time that if it looks square, it is square. And I think that's very good wisdom because so many woodworkers are trying to get things perfectly square and even and parallel. And that really doesn't matter as long as it looks that way, right? So I left those purposely wide because I knew I was going to have to remove material for my scribe, and I didn't know where that was going to wind up. So after I got that all scribed, I had a bunch of material overhanging the edge of the cabinet. And then I just, used an adjustable square to figure out a 1/4 of an inch overhang on both ends, and I cut it. I was not worried at all whether or not it was actually square. I just was worried that it had an even overhang along the entire thing.
The fact that nothing
The
on the
boards
canvas is square in
themselves
that
that
thing.
are glued on the top are definitely not perfectly parallel to that front of that cabinet. They're not. And that would have been really, really hard to get them perfect because I didn't know where I was going to have to remove material for my scribe line. They're close, and they're close enough that nobody will ever notice. So that's all I care about.
Okay. As long as it looks square.
If it
Jimmy.
looks square, it is square.
Okay. Nicholas from Uruguay.
To Jimmy.
Oh, he's not dead.
To J-Cats.
To J-Cats. He's dead.
I don't think so. Let's start that
No?
rumor.
Okay.
Did you guys hear that Jonathan
Jonathan
Katz-Moses died?
Passed away in his sleep.
Yeah, that's not funny. Let's not start that rumor.
Got his shirt on. This is in memory.
In memory of him.
Memory of J-Cats. Oh, rest in peace.
Is.
Pieces. Okay.
Wait.
We've had this question before, and I don't understand this. Motor. Oh, there we go. Hey, Danny.
For J-Cats.
For J-Cats. Funny story about this. That is one of, or is the
That's the original J-Cats Moses apron. And when
Apron.
we stole Danny DeVito from his shop,
He didn't care about Danny.
he didn't care about Danny once he found out it was us. But he was like, hey, don't destroy that apron. It's like the OG one. But we're not giving it back.
No, we're going to auction it off.
Yeah, we're going to sell it.
Sell it for charity.
That's a good idea.
Nicholas from Uruguay is on here. Where is Uruguay?
Hungry? Is it close to Hungry? I'm not hungry.
Oh. I was wondering why you're so much more fit than I am, and this whole entire time I'm snacking.
Yeah,
and
you
drinking,
can't. You got to cut out the snacks.
And yeah, the snacks, man.
Yeah.
I think that should be one of our ticks and trip.
And that's why bourbon is such a good thing to drink. Because you notice, if you ever go to a bar, there's different types of people, okay? There's like the beer drinkers. They're always bigger. They're kind of puffy. And then there's the bourbon drinkers. They're always like a little emaciated because they don't eat enough and they only drink bourbon and they look skinny and sickly. So bourbon's actually better if you're trying to lose weight. Science.
Okay, sweet. I'm gonna.
My problem is I'm a hybrid, so I drink beer and bourbon, and
I
so I
know.
still am like a little puffy. But yeah.
Yeah. I have 3 kids. That's my excuse.
And you eat them?
I eat all their snacks.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's hard to not snack when you have children's snacks everywhere.
That's true.
Literally
I only
throughout the
usually
house.
snack when I'm over at your house because you got like fruit snacks and stuff laying around.
Yeah. Well, and my wife's a type 1 diabetic, so we always have like fruit snacks and sugar and stuff just in case she goes low. So what would a nice husband do other than eat my wife's emergency sugar?
I almost came over to your house late last
Maybe I
night to
should.
get a piece of that cake.
You should have.
Yeah.
Just pop in and
Yeah. Because
Like
we
with
were
a
over there
fridge open?
earlier with my son and he had already eaten dessert and Craig offered him cake. I was like, no, you've already had dessert. But in my mind, I was like, but I want some cake. But I can't eat cake and not let my son
if
have
anybody
cake.
has a market of choice in their area, I don't know if that's a
It's an Oregon thing.
It's a Northwest thing, I think.
It was established in Oregon in 1979.
That's the most random fact I've ever heard you
Read the outside of your cake box. It says it on there. That's the only
I
reason
don't
I
read
know.
my cake boxes, okay? All right. Question. Worried at all about the weight on the Airstream? Because when I see that stuff in real life, it seems much more flimsy than what you were doing.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. I've never been inside an Airstream that's been built out. All I know is the guy that did all my finished body work, he kind of walked me through how they build out their Airstreams. And so I'm kind of basing it off of that and the way that Andy did his. So I slimmed everything down from 3/4 inch to 1/2 inch. I'm cutting out a lot of unnecessary material. I'm not building full carcasses to reduce weight there. I think I'll be okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, the trailer itself
fact
is
that it's
rated for almost 5,000
Been
pounds.
completely redone. I would say don't do that on a normal 1965 trailer.
No,
This
probably
hasn't
not.
been
But they
redone.
rebuilt the entire trailer. I think it's fine. What I've been told is it's less about the amount of weight and it's more about the weight distribution and not having too much weight far forward, like I've been building this entire time, right now it would pull terribly because all the weight is at the front. But as I start building the rest of it out, I'm going to put, more weight in the center right over the axles. And then the water tank and everything is at the very, no, wait.
Front.
You don't want too much weight far backwards. I'm thinking opposite. The bed's at the back. You want more weight farther forward over the hitch.
Mm-hmm.
Reverse what I said. Scratch it.
Reverse it.
That's what I'm talking
Stamp
about.
it.
Anyways, the water tank is right on the tongue. And then the cabinets, kitchen, everything will be right on the axles. So in comparison, there's not going to be that much weight towards the back. It's just that plywood framing.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, D.A. Swanson just inherited an older drill press. Once he gets it all cleaned up and working again, what projects would you recommend for like a drill press? Pencil holder.
Broad question.
Like first time
Something
drill presser.
that involves drilling holes.
The whiskey cabinet.
Oh yeah, do the whiskey cabinet.
Do the whiskey cabinet.
We drilled a lot of holes on the drill press with that.
Plans on the website.
Yeah, I don't know. Drill presses are cool. You can do a lot of cool stuff with them. I originally bought my drill press before I was building furniture for making pipes because I use it to drill out the bowls and everything on the pipes.
Okay. Steve Tepping has more of a tech question for probably one of the least tech savvy people I know.
Just
not Danny.
I am very.
So picture your 78-year-old grandpa that just got a tablet and doesn't know how to use it.
Okay,
that's you.
Okay.
No, that was just a straight up insult for you.
Great.
Okay, but how many hours of footage do you come away with at the end of a weekly build?
Oh, anywhere from 6 to 9.
Yep. And then how long does that take you to condense down into your 30-minute video?
Less than 4 hours.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Slice and dice. I've also gotten good at filming only the necessary things. When I first started doing videos, I would film everything. I'd have like 60 hours of footage for a project. And then I was like, this is stupid. I don't need 3 hours of me cutting pieces on the chop saw. I need to show it one time. So I'll do like 30 seconds of it and then turn the camera off and do the rest of my cuts.
We got a couple more awesome tips out here. Jeff Darling, $5. Michael Builds, $10.
Oh, guys, thank you.
Michael
I didn't even know that you could do that.
I know.
Appreciate it.
Michael Builds says, are you into beers that are aged in bourbon barrels?
Yeah.
For example, it's just...
You've drank more than me.
Can you fill me up again?
Yeah.
Founders KBS. You ever had that?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Maybe we should try it.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a beer out of Colorado. I almost bought it online, but it was like $60 a bottle. But they age it in E.H. Taylor barrels. And the bottle comes in a sleeve that looks like an E.H. Taylor sleeve, but it's a bottle of beer. And I almost bought it just because I thought it was cool, but I didn't buy it.
That's really cool. I like that. Michael Rioshio says, love your content. Good luck with the Airstream build. As a mechanic by trade and a beginner woodworker hobbyist, loves the series.
Oh, awesome. I'm glad you guys are liking the Airstream series. I'm sorry if it's gotten a little redundant. Everything takes so long in there. It's kind of surprised me. I'm not good at building slow. I consider myself to be somewhat of a quick builder in general. Can usually bust things out pretty fast. There's just no way to do anything fast in there. Everything is like curved and bent, and it takes longer because I don't know. I've never done it before, so I have to really think through everything. So I'm sorry if it's going to be drug out for a while, but I'm going to try and throw some other videos in there to break it up.
Dude, I mean, people take years to build these things out, and you're a third of the way done in 3 weeks. So,
well, to be fair, I got a huge head start because I hired out most of the hard work.
Hey, that's all right. Wired Space, Marysville, Washington here. $49.99.
What?
I know.
Wow, thanks for the tip.
Currently rebuilding after an infrared space heater combusted in my shop.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Converted garage. And left my family displaced for a year.
Man, that's heartbreaking.
Okay, tip. Here's their tip. 90% of residential fires are caused by space heaters. Avoid space heaters.
Wow, that's a good tip.
But they love the channel. I almost burnt my house down with a space heater once. Long time ago.
Yeah, I would say if you use a space heater, it is always good practice to never leave it on when you are not right there next to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Melissa also says you have a bug on your shirt.
No, I get it.
Get it?
Oh, okay, that's funny.
Yeah. Okay. I wanted to let you guys know about something that is Father's Day is coming up in.
Oh, this is a good one. You're going to want to listen to this. We're going to try and kind of sell you something, but it's only for your benefit. So listen.
Here, don't listen to me.
Yeah. These two. Will you not hear me?
Father's Day is coming up in a week.
Don't yell. You're going to hurt people's ears.
Well, that's why I have these on.
What's the deal? Isotunes is doing
Dude,
what,
they
30% off?
Okay, so they have probably the best sale that I've ever seen. We've been working with Isotopes for a couple of years now.
We love our Isotunes.
Probably the best sale I've ever seen. Up to 30% off select models. So our go-to is the Freeze.
Mm-hmm.
These are the 2.0s, but the 1.0s we had forever, and they're still great. Those are 30% off right now.
And
you can stack
our discount code
of 10% off.
What's our discount code?
Bourbon Moth 10.
Bourbon Moth 10.
There's a
so
link.
Then you get 40% off.
It's an insane deal. So if you have been holding out for like a good deal on Isotunes or scared to try, now's the time to do it. There's a link right down there.
When's the sale start?
It's going right now.
Oh, it's going right now.
And it ends Father's Day. So
you get their 30% off. You use Bourbon Moth 10 and you get 10% off.
And a lot of different models. Some are 10% off. All the new stuff I think is 10% off. So stack our coupon code on.
So 20 to 40% off.
You say coupon or coupon?
Coupon.
I say coupon.
Coupon. Coupon.
It is a coupon, but I say coupon.
I say coupon.
Oh, good for you, Jason.
Okay.
Sean McDonald.
Our Sean McDonald?
We should tell them about Sean McDonald.
Fun thing about Sean McDonald, he's one of our patrons. And if you didn't know, over on Patreon, twice a year now, we run a Patreon contest where our top tier patrons can enter for a chance to win. And if you win, we fly out to wherever you are and we spend a week with you. We build a project together. We give you $1,000 to go towards materials for your project or tools if you need them. And we do a video on the whole thing. And so last year we flew to London and Sam Smith was our winner. We built a bed in his tiny little shop over there. That was fun. And our first winner this year is Sean McDonald. He's just outside of Boston. We're flying out there beginning of July and we're building a secret. It's a secret, but we already have the project figured out and we're excited to go build it. Did he have a question?
He did have a question though.
Oh, okay.
But way to explain that.
Oh, yeah. So if you want a chance to win, you got to be signed up on Patreon. There's our plug. Go sign up for Patreon.
All right, enough plugging.
Yeah.
What extractor do you use for your Festool Capex?
I use the same one I use for everything else. It's the Here, talk for a second. I got to go look at the number.
Not that, I mean, we have like the main shop dust extractor, which is a Harvey. But now CT36E. We have the Festool CT36E. 36E.
We have two of them. So one of them is dedicated to the Capex, and then the other one just floats around the shop, and we hook it up to the sanders and
that's the mobile one.
Domino and all that stuff.
And the other one is a Harvey something 800.
We bought those a long time ago, though. They last forever. They might have a newer model out than that now. I don't know, but that's the ones we use. The 36.
Cool.
Yeah. Door's locked. I got it.
UPS is here. The Allens give a $4.99 tip. Thank you, Allens. How many pull-ups can you do in the next 60 seconds? Jason's been working out a lot. So Jason just added a big old addition to their house, and he has a gym, and now he's working out. So
look, we got a box from Jonathan Katz Moses. He must have heard us talking about him. I have no clue what's in here.
I do. Is it going to be broken?
Oh, did he send us more whiskey?
He did.
We should have waited and done this for what's like the week. We didn't know though.
No, UPS should have got here sooner.
It is not broken. This is probably really loud. I'm sorry.
What else is in there?
You don't want to look at that though. I know what that is, and that's secret. And we can't tell people about that yet. We might be working on a tool with Jonathan Katz Moses that'll come out in the near future that you guys are definitely going to want. Hold on, I gotta see what's in here.
The plans are, if you guys did miss, that's really loud. If you guys did miss the stop block order, There is loose plans, right, to make another batch?
July.
Okay, July. So if you missed out on the first round of the Bourbon Moss stop blocks, July. Stay tuned. And oh boy, it's taking a long time, Jason. Yes.
He was afraid that this
Hey,
one was
model
gonna break.
model newbie says your son is so adorable, and on the No Treehouse, and the No
Never cut
Treehouse is
towards yourself.
awesome. Your videos are funny, and linseed oil fires are really cool and scary. Our friend Acquired Target over on Patreon tips $5. Acquired Target, you pay your Patreon membership. You don't gotta do the tip.
Sorry, how annoying is this?
They don't want to hear me talk. I guarantee you it breaks. You're gonna freaking break the bottle.
That would be hilarious. Woo! Okay, what do we got? Ooh, Bomburgers. Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey.
I'm
Small
glad
batch.
that we had that whole thing on camera.
You like that?
Yeah.
I've never had this one before. Anybody know anything about this bottle?
What is it? Bomburgers?
108 proof, 54%. Small batch.
Just call them.
Anyways, I'll have to do some research. Thanks, Jonathan. I really didn't need to open that on camera. I was just very curious.
Okay, using your medic brewer, using your years of woodworking knowledge, along with your arcane knowledge of YouTube content creation, what is the best condiment for a hot dog?
Ooh, I'm a mustard only kind of guy. And it's got to be yellow mustard, not any of that Dijon crap. Just mustard, hot dog, bun. That's it.
Really?
If I'm feeling crazy, I'll put sauerkraut on there.
Okay.
But most of the time, just mustard.
You know what I really miss? Back in the day when Costco used to have the onion grinder. And you get your Costco dog, you do
raw onions on a hot dog?
Dude, that's the best.
No way.
The best, absolutely best. Okay. A lot of people have this question, so I'm going to ask it.
Okay.
What's your social security number?
My social security number is 54431. That's all I'm giving you.
Yeah. Okay.
Is that too much?
That's probably too much.
No way.
Oh, dude, you just.
Do you know the different
identity theft?
Hundreds of thousands of different combinations
I'm
that
not gonna,
they could have to come up with?
Now I'm going to have to unsubscribe from so many emails that now come to the inbox because you just gave your information out there.
Wow.
All right. Where was it? I can't remember who asked it, and it's getting lost in here. But the question was, they have a small shop, one-car garage. What are your list of, 3 to 5 tools that are must-haves for a wood shop at a single-car garage?
Table saw, miter saw, joiner, planer. You get those 4 tools. You can build absolutely everything. That's all you need.
That's cool.
There's other stuff that would be nice, sure. But you can build anything with that. And if you want to slim it down even further, just to start with, get a table saw first. Because you could live without a miter saw. You could make those cuts on a table saw. Table saw, planer. Because you could live without a joiner. You could do that on a table saw. So table saw, planer, joiner, miter saw. Now, you might be thinking I'm crazy. Everybody wants to go buy a miter saw first.
Why would you say no bandsaw?
Because you don't have to have a bandsaw. It's nice. It's one of those nice things, but you wouldn't have to have it. Table saw, planer, joiner, miter saw. You could live without a miter saw for a long time.
Okay. Phil Upson says, you've built a boat.
Mm-hmm.
When are you going to build?
Just to clarify, I built 2.
That's true. And you kind of almost built one last week with the things.
Almost. Yeah. And I'm building a land yacht.
Ooh, so 2.5.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. When are you going to build a plane?
You know what I was thinking the other day? This could be a stupid idea, but it seems simple. Has anyone ever done a DIY hot air balloon? How cool would it be to build your own hot air balloon and then float up a few thousand feet? Can't be that hard. You got to sew, which anybody can learn how to sew, and then you build a basket, and then you fill it with hot air. And you float.
Yeah. It can't be that hard. This is the last you've heard of Jason.
And maybe I'll wind up somewhere over the Pacific. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is that against the law? Do you have to have a special license to
Dude,
fly a
you
hot
have to
air
have
balloon?
a license to fly a drone. You think they're not going to let a giant hot air balloon up into the air with
But it
some
doesn't move very
bozo that doesn't know
fast.
what he's doing?
Hmm.
Not that that's you.
All right, I'm just
Okay.
saying. DIY hot air balloon sounds
Someone
pretty cool.
asked if actually there's been a couple people on here that the bow idea sparked some interest.
Oh,
in
do
the
a
comments.
handmade bow?
Some people are like, I would love to see the process of you doing a bow.
Me too.
researching
There's a
and
few
doing a bow.
really talented longbow makers out there. And I've thought if I ever do a bow, I want to connect with one of them and actually like go spend some time in their shop and learn from them. It's not something I just want to do without talking to somebody first. But that would be awesome. That'd be cool.
Yeah. Someone asked how annoying it is to live next door to your neighbors.
It's the worst.
What'd you say?
Nothing. Next question.
Okay. Okay. You were supposed to have a little bit longer of an answer for that one.
Okay, I'll play a song.
Play a song. Hold, please. If you were tight on space, no, did you just hold my hand?
Wow.
If you were tight on space, would a joiner planer be a good choice?
Mhm.
Saw the jet ones after picking up the DeWalt.
Yeah, I would talk to somebody if you can who has one. Just pick their brain on whether or not they like it. Keith Johnson has one. Reach out to him. Flood him with DMs. I don't know. I've never used one. Who else has one? We from Alabama Woodworks has a joiner planer combo. I don't know what brand. But yeah, if it works well, it makes sense, right? Because a joiner and a planer are pretty similar in function. So that would cut down on footprints.
Well, FedEx is here now. Wonder what
Nice.
else we're getting.
I don't know. We're not as close with our FedEx guys we are with our UPS
Yeah, the
guy,
UPS guy's way cooler.
So I wouldn't unlock the door for the FedEx guy.
No.
No.
Plus, he has red hair.
Well, in the FedEx guy, have you ever
Never trust the
noticed it's
redhead.
always a different person?
I know.
We have the same UPS
Loyal
guy. We got
UPS
John,
guy.
and he comes every time unless
Mm.
he's on vacation.
Mhm.
Yep.
He lets us in on his life.
FedEx,
He sits here and talks with
it's
us.
always different.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
they leave a package in a different place every time. FedEx can't decide where they want to leave packages. I'm finding packages strewn all over the yard.
I've noticed that.
Yeah.
Nicholas wants to know why do you punish your brother by making him sand all the time? Just look at his face.
Do you think me and Craig are brothers? Or are you saying
Brother,
like an endearing?
brother. Yeah, brother.
I don't make Craig sand all the time. I sand quite a bit too. To be fair.
Yeah.
Recently, I've made you sand your desk, but it was yours. I felt like you should take some ownership in it.
Yeah.
And then when we were like up against the wall and we really are trying to get a project done.
Yeah.
And I'll only make you sand if there's something else I need to be doing while you're sanding.
Listen, at this
I'm
point,
not going to make you sand and then go sit in the corner and look at my phone.
Yeah. At this point, I'll be honest. In my woodworking career, I'm a baby. I'm a little infantile little baby, and I can sand.
Okay, tell me if you think this would be a funny video or if this is a stupid idea, because I had this idea the other day. I go on vacation. I leave for a week. I'm not here at all. I tell Craig, while I'm gone, you have to name a piece of furniture. Now, keep in mind, he's never built a piece of furniture. He doesn't know what he's doing. And then he self-films himself while I'm gone building the piece of furniture. Then I come back, I take all the footage, I edit it up, and I voice it over of him building the furniture. And it is what it is. Like at the end of the week, he's got what he's got. No help from me. He's not allowed to look anything up online for assistance. He's just in the shop by himself, and he has to build of his own accord. I'm pretty curious to see what would happen. Is that a video you want to see?
Look.
Yes? Okay, good. All right, we're going to do it then.
Oh, boy.
That is going to be...
Can I practice a little bit? On the weekends?
No, just where you're at right now. What do you come up with? I'm really excited. I honestly think you would do pretty well.
I think I would too. I'm a handy
At this point,
man.
you've
I've done
literally
a lot of
watched.
stuff on my
You've
own
watched
house,
every single video I've put out.
and I've watched you do. Yeah, I've watched you do it.
Yeah, I think up
Been
here you
there.
have the skills. You've just never actually done it.
Yeah,
I think you'd be okay.
absolutely.
I wonder how many broken tools I would come back to.
Probably a few. But that's how like you are with golf. Up here, you got it, but you just. I'm sorry.
Wow.
I had to go there.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
Throw me under the bus.
What do you say? 5 more minutes and then we'll call it.
I guess let's.
I
Yeah,
don't know. I mean, we're having a good
We're having a
time.
good time. This is for everybody.
We only have a day and a half to put out a film.
Another video. Yeah,
and
so we got time.
We got time.
Yeah.
All right.
What else? Any other questions?
Um.
We'll give you. How about we'll say 10 more minutes and then we'll call
Here
it.
we go. Which girlfriend of Jerry's did the friends refer to as the Virgin?
Marla.
Wow. Where did George Costanza famously pull out a golf ball?
Oh, from the blowhole of a whale.
How many times have you watched this?
Seinfeld?
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
Too much. You know what's scary is I am nothing in comparison to Keith Johnson when it comes to Seinfeld knowledge. That guy is on a different level.
Yeah. Belinda Blake, having come from Arizona and moved to Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
That's like you.
Yeah. I grew up in Arizona and moved to Oregon.
Did the change in humidity affect your woodworking process? Oh, maybe
she's referring to me.
I thought she was referring to herself.
I didn't do woodworking in Arizona. I moved to Oregon when I was 17, and I didn't start woodworking until about 8 years ago. So I started woodworking when I was about 20.
Okay.
Not really.
How old are you?
I'm 35.
We should do the who's older game.
Who's older, me or Craig?
Me or Jason? Someone wants to know what happened to the mini boat. Is it around or does Michael Alm have it?
I would move the camera and show you, but the last time I tried to do that, it disconnects something and screwed up the whole live stream. It's hanging on the ceiling right over there.
You can see it in some videos in the shop on the ceiling.
Yeah, me and Michael have been DMing back and forth about rebooting that project because we both feel like with the knowledge we have now from doing it the first time, we could actually make a boat that would scream across the water. So that'll probably happen at some point. What about the TV show? Somebody asked.
Hold on. Jason they all think you're older, by the way.
False. Craig's older.
I'm 39, man.
As Indiana Jones says, it's not the years, it's the mileage. I've been way harder on my body than Craig has. So I look haggard, haggard and old.
Yeah. Okay, you were talking about the mini boat, though. You've been thinking about rebooting.
Oh, yeah.
Did you finish that thought?
Yeah, and then somebody asked about the TV show, and I was going to say about that.
I forgot about the TV show.
I forgot about the TV show, too. They don't tell us anything. I would assume at this point, with how long it's been, literally, I'm not joking. I'm not just saying this. The pilot went out there into the universe. It's on Discovery and YouTube and all that stuff. We haven't heard a thing. Zero. Not from the production company, not from the network, nothing. So I would assume the TV show's not happening. That's probably not good news.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But if you've listened to the podcast or us talk at all, we're not disappointed by that because we kind of regretted getting into that whole thing once we got into it because it's kind of I can't swear, but it's something that rhymes with pit show.
Zit show.
It's a zit show when it comes to that whole thing.
Dude, Andrew has a great idea. A little head-to-head build. I get to use the shop. You have to use the tools that you can find in my house.
Oh.
And seeing as how I gave away all my tools when I moved here because when I moved next door, I don't need tools. So I just gave them all to my dad.
Yeah, he literally was like, I'm not going to move my tools. I'm going to be right next door to the shop. I'll just borrow anything from that I need.
Literally, if something breaks at midnight, it's a 30-second walk out the door over to the shop. So, yeah.
Got to start locking my shop.
Yeah, I got to start locking my house. You're going to steal my cake at night.
You did lock your house. We tried to drop off that cake yesterday and you weren't home and the house was locked.
Should I not lock it?
I don't lock my house.
I don't think you should have said that.
I lock my house and I have guns and a mean dog. And I live in Russia.
Whoops. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to check over on Patreon.
And I don't have any rare bourbons.
Hey, if you've asked the question and we haven't got to it, retype it in because there's thousands on here.
Yeah, it's hard to find them all.
So, but we'll give it another couple minutes. I'm gonna check over on Patreon and see because those people over here, Patreon's really cool. Here's what we're gonna do. If you guys are ever on the fence about Patreon, there's a whole entire platform of content, videos, posts that you would have access to, weekly live streams. We do this every Monday.
Oh yeah.
And it just goes on and on and on and on. Stuff that we upload there specifically for patrons. So that's my plug.
Any mistakes that we make, you guys on Patreon get to see first.
Actually, it's really fun too. Over on Patreon, people can submit their builds, which is fun. We didn't do one today, but Mondays, if you have a project you're working on and you're part of the live stream group, you can send it in. We'll talk about it and we'll show it. And
starting the beginning of next year, we're going to do an annual Patreon summit. So if you're an active patron, any tier level, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are we doing any tier?
Yep. Anybody's a patron.
We're going to do this Patreon summit, and we're going to just pick a place in the United States, and we're going to make it a long weekend. And if you're a patron, you're welcome to fly out there or drive out there if you're close enough. And we're just all going to hang out together for the weekend and eat good food and just talk and chat and talk about the business and hang out and do fun stuff. So, because our Patreon's really that's so much fun to me because that's like the community that's really tight-knit and connected and we have conversations with. We know a lot of you personally now. We've met you in person, which is really cool. So yeah, that's a ton of fun. So we wanted to make a time at least once a year that we could all get together if you were available. Yeah, and we could all hang out. Just say thank you because we really appreciate your support.
Yep. I don't know how they let this guy on here, but Sean Kirsch is on here.
Oh,
wants to know if there's any feet pics in the Patreon.
You know what's funny, Sean? I'm not wearing shoes right now.
There's a feet pic for you.
You like that? Sean Kirsch, ladies and gentlemen, is my favorite employee over at Shaper.
Hold on, he's your employee?
No, he's my favorite employee at Shaper. Shaper Origin. He was actually, Sean, did you realize you were in our last video? You probably didn't watch it, but I had to call you and have you walk me through how to use the Shaper plate, and you made it in the video on our Zoom call. So there's that.
Okay. Acquired Target would like to know, he's one of our patrons, how do you determine how much Rubio to use per area that you're finishing? Like say like a 4x4.
It says on the can how much square footage it'll cover. I don't know. I always eyeball it and mix them up.
Yeah.
We usually have a little extra.
We do.
Yeah.
If I didn't go to my son's baseball game, we would have not even ran into this issue because I had plenty to finish the tops. I just didn't have time.
Once again, you putting your family first has caused us great distress.
Get over it.
Okay.
Thank you. Today's your 40th birthday, Charles. Sing it, play it.
I don't know how to play Happy Birthday.
You can figure it out. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Charles.
That was honestly
that was actually pretty good.
Terrible for not knowing how to play.
So from Charles, why do you keep grabbing my hand?
Because your hand, look, it's like over the median. There's a line. Imagine there's a line down the middle.
There is a line. You've already pre-drilled.
I'm on my side, and you're like all the way over here.
Was this Shaper mishaps or what?
That's a domino mishap.
Domino mishap. Yeah. Okay. Charles, back to Charles. 40th birthday. Do you have any life goals before you turn the big 4-0 in a few years? He's building an outdoor sauna to kick off his life goals list.
I haven't really thought about it.
Well, maybe you should think about that. I mean, you've gone to Disneyland.
I went to Disneyland. Can't think of anything really I've yet to do. This last year, for the first time ever, I took a shot of tequila in a bar. I'd never taken a shot in a bar before.
Compliments of Isotunes.
So that was, the girls at Isotunes at Workbench Con got that going. And then one shot quickly turned into like 6. Anyways, I can't really think of anything.
Yeah.
I don't know. You got any suggestions? Anything I should do before I turn 40 that I'm not going to be able to do after I turn 40?
Jeffrey Allman says, do you plan on doing any oak timber framing mortise using mortise and tenon style joinery? We'd love to see that kind of content.
I would love to see that too. I would love to buy a piece of property somewhere and build a timber frame cabin. That would be amazing. I've always thought that would be really cool. So I don't know, maybe.
So instead
someday.
of maybe buying a vacation home, you just go
Build
build
one.
your own vacation home.
Yeah, that'd
You
be a
think
lot
the
more work.
Airstream content would get redundant?
Well, the problem with that is like for it to be a vacation property, it's got to be like away from your normal home. So then you're having to like drive out there and
You'd have
stay
to
there.
build a whole shop.
You have to stay there, and then you got to like have tools and everything. That's a lot of
Yeah.
logistics to figure out.
Yeah. Let me see. Junk Monkey says, do you like Blanton's and do you have a reliable source?
I do like Blanton's. There's not a great reliable source for Blanton's right now. It's hard to get anywhere. Online is your best bet. Whiskey Concierge. What's the other one? Woodencork.com. Lots of places like that. You're gonna have to pay, premium for it, but you can get it online.
Okay, Danielism. What tools are currently in your cart or on your way to your shop right now? Got anything coming?
No, we just bought some
We
tools.
just bought the Craig.
We just bought a
Foreman.
Craig Foreman pocket hole machine
And
because I was making a lot of pocket holes for the Airstream, and I've yet to even take it out of the box, and I keep
Still in the
using
box.
the little tiny one.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have to give that away
It's
to
this
somebody.
whole thing called time.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I really need like a employee who works for me that could set tools up when I don't have time to do it. That'd be awesome. So
We are
if anyone's
now
out there,
accepting applications.
yeah, I'm gonna have to let
I'm
somebody
gonna
to go
need
to free up some
yeah,
funds though.
okay, yeah. Poor Ivor, man.
Ivor actually came and worked for me for the first time in a paid position this last week, which was really cute. He asked if there's anything he could do to earn some extra money, and I had him come out and sweep my entire shop. I was actually surprised how detailed he was. He got out the vacuum and he cleaned stuff off. He did a way better job than Craig's ever done. So
Yeah, absolutely. I walked in, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I don't even have
at
to
one
work
point
anymore.
though, because I left him out here, I had some other stuff to do in the office, and I kept coming back and checking on him. And I came out and he was sweeping away, and he said, "Dad, could you stay out here with me? I'm not sure I'm ready to work alone yet."
Aw.
Very sweet. And so of course I was like, tough. You're a working man now. Deal with it. And I left.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
I
My
mean,
heart melted, and I helped him sweep the floor.
It's crazy because I tried the same thing probably the first week I was working.
Didn't work.
It didn't work this
Yeah.
same.
No.
Wow. Are you crying?
Yeah.
You're
No.
getting, like,
I'm
choked up,
not
aren't you?
crying.
You're getting choked up because
sawdust.
Oh man,
It's sawdust in my eyes. It's the fumes off of the bourbon.
It's because there's a bunch of sawing happening here. Okay, Petru Janak, can you make a video about how to distinguish various species of wood? Maybe I don't know if we'll make a video about it, but that's a really good. Or you could just go to your local hardwood store.
Yeah, that'd be a hard video to make. Well, that'd be a hard video to make interesting, but
although we had the same
not a bad
conversation
idea.
about how to buy wood, and that video just did
that video did well.
amazing.
Well, maybe
So,
we will.
all right, let's do 5
All
more.
right,
Huh?
we're gonna do a few more questions.
5 more.
Wow, this is gonna be our longest YouTube live ever.
I know, it's awesome. If you guys did, I know some questions are still coming in about the spontaneous combustion. You're gonna have to go rewatch this segment.
Go back to the beginning.
We
talked
talked
about
it like 20 minutes in.
Mhm.
So that'll give you hopefully all the answers you're looking for. Hold please.
Hold please.
Would you upgrade your joiner or planer to a helical head first? Sorry, I was crossing the line.
Ooh,
Which one would you, if you?
that's an interesting question.
Isn't that a great question?
Yeah, I would probably say planer first, for the same reason that I would buy a planer if I had to choose before I would buy a joiner. Is that you can get a straight edge, using like a table saw sled or a track saw. You can do that in other ways. It's hard to duplicate what a planer does in another way without a planer. So I'd probably say upgrade the helical head planer before the joiner.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So while we're on that topic, Ray B says, what's a good face planer for a small shop? Is it worth getting a 20-inch over a 12 or 13-inch planer? Small shop.
I think a 13, 12-inch is fine if you have a small shop. I rarely use all 20 inches. And when I do, it's just like lucky that I happen to be gluing up a panel that fits in there. So a 12 or 13's, I think, totally okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And a good planer in the 12 or 13-inch. Honestly, the DeWalt ones are pretty decent, especially if you get the one with the helical head or you upgrade it to the helical head. They're pretty good. I had a DeWalt for a long time.
Yeah. Shop Sounds podcast future. Are you guys going to be adding another dynamic? Do you like the dynamic of just you and Keith and adding in
I
special
will say
guests?
we're definitely not opposed to adding another guest in there. We're going to keep going, me and Keith, for the time being. We definitely don't want to rush out and just throw someone in there. They'd have to be the right fit. It would probably be a situation where we'd have them on as a guest for a while first and make sure that, you know, we vibe and mesh and everything. But we're not opposed to it if the right person comes along.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been asked yet.
No, you will not be asked.
That's fine.
I spend enough time with
I
you
don't
during the week.
Yeah, no.
No, I said we weren't going to do this on the live stream, okay?
Oh, well, but
no,
you also said
you're making it awkward.
You also
now.
maybe said okay. Well, Paul, guess what? Paul Ellis's daughter just put a bunch of hearts in the comments, so that makes it better.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Any plans on getting a 4x8 CNC? Well, I mean, we just talked about that. Like you.
I know.
Mm.
I'm really honestly like I never thought I would want one until we went over to Chris's shop the other day and he cut that stuff out, and then I was like, man, this is pretty cool.
Okay, Nathan, we need to talk to you. He says, why do you always hate your big fans? He's been trying to order a 3XL shirt and we keep selling out of them.
Oh.
Next time we order more shirts, we will stock the heck out of 3X because they do
sell out pretty quick.
But we did have, so Nathan, this is a little behind the scenes thing that you don't see every day. We had a manufacturing issue with our 3XL shirts on almost all of them. And we had to throw away about 10 or 12 3Xs because the tags ripped holes in the top. So it was the manufacturer's problem. But stay tuned. We're gonna drop a couple new things this summer, I think, and into the fall. So we're always looking to do new merchandise.
Yeah.
We don't hate you. That's the thing. Do you like that shiplap in the wall behind you in your shop? It's not really shiplap.
Not really shiplap. These are sliding doors that
I don't know if you don't really ever slide them in videos.
They're sliding doors that I had custom made by my steel fabricator friend. And so it's just a big steel frame and there's a piece of 1/8-inch steel on the back. And these are literally 2x12s that I cut to length and just screwed up there. So it's not really shiplap. It's just 2x12s in a steel frame. It's very beefy. I wanted that thick a material so that I could mount stuff to it. This is not an ad for woodpeckers. If you want woodpecker stuff,
speaking of woodpeckers,
there's knockoff.
Hold on. There's a question right here. It says, "What's your take on knockoff woodpecker stuff?"
There's knockoff woodpecker stuff on Amazon for 1/8 of the price. Go buy that. That's my take on it.
Yeah,
it's too expensive.
Okay. Dominic Nolan, do you have a permanent station for your Shaper Origin or just use the plate workstation and tape?
I do have over in the corner over here. You can't really see it. I have a little shelf I made with the Shaper. Is Sean still on here? What do you call the little
plate? The workstation.
The workstation.
Is that it right there?
Yeah.
Yeah, workstation.
I have that, but that only works for like smaller stuff. And then I got the Shaper plate, which I used for the first time in this last video, which is awesome. And then you just put tape down wherever you want.
Yeah. Okay, let me check the Patreon app and see if anybody over there has asked any more questions.
Should we do one more?
Yep. Well, let's do question. Let's do two more.
Two more.
One from Patreon and one from.
All right. Geez. And then, like we said, if you guys like this and want to be a part of it, every Monday we're over on Patreon doing it. Yep. So just sign up for Patreon.
Evan wants to know what your least favorite wood is to work with.
Probably pine. I know it's probably every woodworker's least favorite wood. I don't like the way pine smells when it's milled. It's really sappy and it can gunk up your tools. It's soft. I don't love it.
Okay.
Also,
second least favorite.
eucalyptus. I haven't used it a lot, but it chips really easily and like cracks. I'm not a big fan of eucalyptus either.
Okay. I want to find a good question here, so maybe hit us with a little tune. Let's do name that tune real quick.
Okay, we did this name that tune on our other Patreon live, and nobody got it. Let's see if you guys get it, and if I can remember how to play it. Name that tune. Anybody? Nobody got it on our last Patreon live. It might not be perfect either because I just made it up from memory, but it's pretty close. All right. I'm not going to tell you.
Good.
Leave you hanging.
Melissa, you got to go back to the top of the episode. Mary Had a Little Lamb.
No, that's not Mary Had a Little Lamb.
The thong song.
No, that thong. That's not Lord of the Rings.
Is it Lord of the Rings? These are all great guesses,
They're all
though.
great guesses.
I think it's the thong song.
No.
Cashmere.
No. No.
Itsy Bitsy Spider.
No.
Freebird.
No. No. You're never going to get it unless you're a true fan. There's a clue.
Queen Bohemian Rhapsody.
All right, moving on.
Jason,
What's the next question?
Spoonful of sugar.
Nope.
Dude, these are all great guesses, though. Okay. I can't remember his name. This last question of the day is brought to you by Grant Martin. I think this is a very helpful tip. We can leave him with a helpful tip for the day.
Okay.
How do you plan on how many board feet each project's going to take?
Well, because I don't really use plans and I rarely use SketchUp, I just kind of like roughly add it up in my head. It's helpful that I stick to species for most projects. Like I use a lot of oak and I use a lot of walnut. So I know that if I buy extra, it's not that big a deal because I can roll it over into the next project. So I always just buy more than I need. I know that's not very helpful. The easiest thing to do is to actually design the project ahead of time, and then you can really figure out what the board foot is, and then just add like 10% for waste and call that good.
Okay. And you have your little calculator.
Well, yeah, I have a board foot calculator on my phone, but that's more to figure out when I'm in the store. I'll use that and I'll measure it up myself because I don't trust the people at the lumber yard that they're going to measure and do the calculations correctly on board foot. So I always do it myself, and then I'll let them do it and we'll compare and see who's right. And most of the time, I mean, I go into my place enough, they trust me. I'll just tell them how much it is and they don't even go measure it. So it makes it easier.
Okay.
All right.
That's a wrap. Thank you all for coming.
Yeah. Catch you on the next one.
What was Newman's job?
He was a postal worker.
Yep. Who is Jerry? Who is Jerry's across the hall neighbor?
Kramer?
Yep. Are Kramer and Elaine related?
No.
Okay. What is Elaine's last name?
Dennis. These are very easy questions.
Which character shaves his chest?
Well, there's an episode where Jerry shaves his chest.
Yes. What career does George continue to fake having?
An architect.
So good.
All right. See you guys.
Bye.